What's going on, guys? I'm Entity Maze. And one question many Pokemon Sun and Moon anime fans have been asking since the start of this year is what will Ash's 6th Pokemon be, and will Ash's and his classmates' Pokemon evolve whatsoever? Well, today, I'm here to provide a belated news update and theory on those two particular questions, as we've gotten quite a few anime merchandise scheduled to come out in Japan, and an image which showcases possible future evolutions for our protagonists and even new Pokemon. So, with that intro now stated, let's jump right into this discussion. So firstly for this discussion, I want to bring up this image right here, which released online back in May of this year. Yeah, it's taken me quite a few months to talk about this. Anyway, I don't know the exact source where this image surfaced online, but it is definitely 100% official due to never seeing images of these Pokemon posing like this. Other reliable sources saying this image is official anyway. And finally, it looks like this image is not a part of the upcoming Japan Pokemon calendar for 2019. Where within those calendars, we see our anime Pokemon hanging out with other random Pokemon to celebrate whatever month. So, this image definitely serves a purpose for the anime overall. So there's no need for you, if you're questioning whether this is important or not, to sweep it under the rug thinking it won't serve importance whatsoever, as it definitely will. And with that said, let's start to analyze this image, starting from the bottom left of Stufful to then make our way anti-clockwise to Eevee. So firstly, yes, there's a brand new Pokemon here, which is Stufful, and I have 3 theories of who this Pokemon could belong to, all different characters as well. My first theory is that this Stufful could belong to Ash, as of course Ash still needs a 6th Pokemon on his team, and a normal fighter type like Stufful would be the final perfect fit, as Ash doesn't have any of those types of Pokemon on his team already. Also, if you take a look at these pieces of merchandise, it features Stufful prominently alongside Ash's Pokemon or other important Pokemon, which suggests that it could be Ash's. However, moving on to theory 2, this Pokemon could actually belong to Lily, because not only do we see merchandise where this Pokemon is featured with other main character Pokemon, which suggests it could be caught by a protagonist, but also because she hasn't gotten herself a 2nd Pokemon yet, which you would assume our characters would have more than one Pokemon. But what about Lana and Mallow, you may be asking? Well, it seems like much like in the games, they were only specialised in water and grass types, which makes Lily more of a likely candidate. Plus, you know, she's the final candidate out of our protagonists. As for that final theory though, this Stufful may not belong to any of our protagonists, but rather it could be a cub, aka a kid, of Team Rocket's Beware Guardian, as of course Beware and Stufful share the same evolutionary line, and in fact, Beware's gender in the anime is unknown at this moment in time, so maybe it could be a mother, which actually, that would also make a pretty sweet story. Who knows too, maybe when it's born, Beware might allow Jessie or James to catch the Stufful for themselves to use in battle. Or maybe this mother's story could still happen, but the cub ends up staying with Ash or Lily, if a Stufful isn't to be found in the wild. Out of all of these 3 theories though, I'm leaning towards Ash catching this Pokemon in the wild, followed by the Beware story, as it just shows so much evidence for Ash to catch this Pokemon. But whatever happens in the anime, I'll be satisfied with whatever choice, as it seems like to me that these are the only 3 possible options. Moving on to the next Pokemon though, we see an Alolan Raichu and an Alolan Dugtrio, which I suppose some people will be thinking that Sophocles will get an Alolan Raichu, and Ash finally gets an Alolan form Pokemon, which would be Dugtrio. However, I do not see that happening whatsoever, because 1, it looks like main characters are not allowed to capture anything related to Pikachu because of Ash, and I'm on about main characters, not rivals or side characters. 2, I don't think Ash will be getting an Alolan form anyway, as he usually focuses on capturing just new generation Pokemon that don't have form differences. And finally, the most obvious 3, we've seen side characters in the anime own these Pokemon, aka the Pancake Girl from episode 13 and the DJ from episode 23, which they also made multiple more cameos in the anime. So, this might be suggesting that we'll get to see these Pokemon and their trainers more within this anime. Before we move on to the most anticipated starters though, I want to point out once again that this image surfaced online back in May of this year, which Malostini did not evolve until July. So, there's even more evidence that this image definitely serves importance in the anime, as it basically spoiled Steeny's evolution for us. With that said though, let's talk about those starters now, shall we? Usually when we see anime artwork for fully evolved starters, it's just there to make the artwork look fancy, not foreshadow any starters evolving in the anime. However, taking a look at some of that merchandise now, these badges representing the Pokemon anime show Dartrix, Brione, and Torracat would suggest that Ash's Rowlet and Lana's Populo might evolve after all, seeing as we're seeing anime merchandise surrounding these middle forms. Although, I would suggest you still take this with a grain of salt, as who knows, it could be there to look fancy like I said. However, if any of you are to point out Zorora, I think it's just there because of movie 21, where it's the main legendary Pokemon for that movie. But yeah, it is indeed a possibility that our starters could evolve all the way into their final forms, which I would love so much. I've always enjoyed the idea of Ash having an Incineroar, and it would be pretty funny to see Rowlet evolve while hundreds of people bashed other people's opinions of thinking Rowlet would evolve. And yes, that's a weird reason for being excited for seeing Rowlet evolving. And I'll say it once again for this channel, I'm 50-50 of whether Rowlet will evolve or not. Both sides have something to agree on, such as not evolving because it's cute and needs its personality. But then again, Rowlet has showed ghosty features already, which Decidueye is part ghost type, and it could easily keep its personality when evolving, much like some other Pokemon have done in this anime, Gliscor being the biggest example. At the end of the day though, it's up to you which side you're on. Moving away from the starters though, we then have Kommo-o here, which I believe this could be under Ash's care in the future, or rather, it's just advertising for soon-to-be Pony Island Dark, as of course there is a totem Kommo-o on that island that you can battle. Now yes, we've seen Gladion and Lily battle this totem already, but that doesn't mean we won't see it again. Plus, Gladion did not end up obtaining the Dragonium Z, so it's still there for somebody to claim for themselves. Which if Poipole is to evolve in this anime too, it would become part Dragon type, which that Sea Crystal would fit perfectly for it. Or who knows, the Sea Crystal could be different, much like it was at the end of Harla's and Nanu's Grand Trials. Finally, unlike Stufful, the starters and Eevee for example, this Pokemon is not advertised on any other anime merchandise at this moment in time, so that could be more evidence that this Pokemon is just a totem of Pony Island, which is why I'm leaning towards that theory more compared to being under Ash's care. Plus, Ash did own 2 dragons in Kalos, and possibly already one in this anime, so the anime might not want to give him another dragon type due to having a lot recently already. Moving on from that though, we then come to this Pikipek, which is by far the most surprising Pokemon on this image for me, as who knows it could belong to Ash despite owning 3 flying types in Kalos and already 1 so far in Alola, or it could belong to another character, which would also be weird for me, as you'll never expect them to own this bird. So yeah, this is interesting. I mean, if Ash is to get Stufful and this Pikipek, he would have Pokemon in rotation, much like he did in some other old series, which is definitely possible to happen here. So we don't always need to limit ourselves to thinking Ash will only have 5 new Pokemon with Pikachu alongside them. But then again, Poipole could end up getting released soon, especially seeing as we're towards the end of the Necrozma arc. So that would leave 2 open spaces for a 6 Pokemon party. Finally, for this image, we come to Eevee, which I have 2 theories of who this Eevee will belong to. Either Ilma, because we've seen him in this anime already, in fact who knows that Pikipek or even maybe Kommo-o belongs to him as well, as we see side characters on this poster too. And as for the other character who could possibly own Eevee, I believe that could be Lily. Lily because again, she doesn't have a second Pokemon, Mallow, Lana, Kiori and Sophocles specialize in certain types, and I don't believe the anime will ever give Ash and Eevee despite many of us really wanting that. And finally, this is just perfect to advertise Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee even more, as we would see Eevee even more in the anime, which could inspire others to buy the Pokemon games, especially if it is to evolve into a Generation 1 evolution. Definitely Glaceon and Sylveon are ruled out for an evolution due to being owned by previous Pokegirls. So yeah, that's how I see Eevee going. If you think about it too, Ash and Lily are basically the characters who get the main focus in this anime too, which Ash would have Pikachu and Lily possibly Eevee, them symbolizing the upcoming games even more. Oh, also, we also get remakes advertised in the anime in some kind of way anyway. such as for the advanced generation we got Misty returning for a little while, along with Ash travelling in Kanto for the Battle Frontier, which was advertised via Red and Leaf Green. For Diamond and Pearl we got Lyra, and Dawn obtaining a Cyndaquil, which was advertised in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And finally, for X and Y, we got Aura's Megas, and those Mega Evolution specials dedicated to the Primals fighting, which of course that was advertised in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Now yes, Let's Go isn't a remake per se, it's got many new elements, but it's bound to get advertised anyway due to being a mainline series game. Anyway, overall, for now, I'm just 50-50 of whether this Eevee will belong to Lily or if it's Ilma's Eevee. And that basically concludes this image and the merchandise pretty much, as it all related back to that one image. However, let me know in the comments down below what Pokemon we've explored you think will belong to whatever character and if you would like it or not. I'd love to hear. For me, this is all definitely something to look forward to within the anime, especially Stufful, Pikipek and Rowlet's future. With that said though, that basically concludes it for this video now though. So if you enjoyed, then be sure to consider leaving a like and a subscribe for future Pokemon content. It helps out a ton. You'll also become a member of the Entity Squad. For now, this is Entity Maze, signing out. Thank you for watching.